Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are back in Baltimore. It's been a long time since we featured Balti on the channel, but I think it's about time we take her out for a stroll. Now y'all know that she is, in my opinion, the best cruiser at Tier 7. Now, you could make an argument for, Wichita, which is very similar, but doesn't quite have as good a AP. And then you have, some others that are contenders that, specialize in certain things. But honestly, when it comes down to just all-around goodness, it's hard to beat the Balti, man. Balti's nasty. And in this match, we're going to get to showcase one of the sides of the Balti that I don't get to use. And that is the side of when it is used properly, instead of being super aggressive like me. I usually play this thing hyper-aggressive, especially if we get into a match with a bunch of cruisers, because, this thing just shreds cruisers like nobody's business, and then also has the ability to absolutely ruin battleships, whether it be with HE or AP. This particular match is going to showcase heavily in the HE department. We are going to absolutely ruin the enemy team with the Balti's HE in this one. We're also going to get some AP in there, don't worry. We got some beautiful looks coming up, so hopefully you guys are ready, and welcome to the new week. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend, and yeah, let's get party started. So right off the bat, we're on Shattered. We're going to push over to the left side of the map, and the best part about this side of the map is there's all of these islands that are just absolutely amazing for island camping cruisers to burn things to the... Oh my god, hello? Shame I don't have AP loaded here, because, I would absolutely ruin this guy. But he's going to smoke up. He knows where he's at. Or we know where he's at, so we're going to go ahead and take the shot. We're going to assume he backs up a little bit, so we take the shot into the smoke. And we're actually going to hit him. And I wish I hadn't zoomed out here, because then I would have been able to continue to shoot him. But we get a fire there on the Belfast. And then we go ahead and start working on the Massachusetts over the top of the island, using the blind fire, auto-aim mechanic, so that we can try to get some shots on target. And sure enough, we actually hit him with a single shatter. Who'd have thunk it? But George is right here on the edge as well. Definitely in range. Balti, while it doesn't have the best shell trajectory, gives you like that perfect blend between the light cruisers and some of the railgun cruisers. And that is, it allows you to sit behind these islands and lob, but also makes it relatively easy to hit the targets at range. The shells are super predictable. They're very accurate most of the time. So you're always going to be able to stack multiple hits on target. Now, we get a hit on the Georgia. We've already got a fire going. I believe that's a perma-fire. So we're going to switch over to the Massachusetts, see if we can't do the same to him as he tries to run away from us. We can't allow him to run away, right? We got to give him a couple parting gifts. Now, Belfast is about to do something incredibly stupid. He's about to pull out broadside, knowing he doesn't have any smoke anymore, about to pull out broadside in front of our team. And so we'll see how that goes out for him. But we switch back over. We've got 3 fires going here in this early point. We got one on the Belfast, we got one on the Georgia, one on the Massachusetts. Massachusetts immediately damage cons a single fire, and I don't think we need to tell you just how dumb that is, especially when you're still being hit with HE. Like, I can understand if you're going behind an island, you're going to be safe, you're not going to be spotted for a little bit. You damage con that fire to keep it from ticking, and you save a little bit of health. However, if you're under duress and you're continuing to be spotted and you're continuing to be shot with HE, then you're going to be in a situation where you're going to get obliterated by high explosive. You're going to be set on fire again, and it's going to be perma. And, in my experience, a lot of the times when you get set on those permas after damage conning a single fire, it's almost always at least a double fire. What do you guys think's going to happen to this guy? Are we going to get a fire on him in this salvo? Wait for it. Yeah, of course we are. Another fire. But the best part is, not only are we getting those fires, but we're getting penetrations with the HE, meaning we're doing damage because it's 203mm HE. Now, I noticed that the Charles Martel's pushing up. So we go ahead, we load up the AP. Why? Because Balti versus Cruiser is a no contest. There ain't a cruiser in the game that can go toe-to-toe with a Balti, well, at Tier 7. There isn't a cruiser at Tier 7 that could go toe-to-toe with a Balti and come out on top in most situations. It just doesn't happen. Even those cruisers that have, look at this blind fire shot. Is this not juicy? Boom! Didn't see that coming, did you, sunshine? Yeah, suddenly your entire demeanor changes. You thought you were coming out for a Friesland, what you got was a paddling. Yeah, you didn't like that. Now, he turns away from us, so obviously we can't continue to use the AP. He's going to try to kite. We're going to go ahead and switch over to the HE and show you just how nasty the HE can be on this poor little Charles Martel with his spaced armor as we shoot the superstructure. Bonk! There goes all of his health, and we get 2 fires. But he's gonna damage con that, obviously, and then we're gonna aim again, put the shells out ahead of him, try to hit him, and yeah, we take the rest of his health, and the Friesland is going to finish him off here before we get a chance to shoot him again. But the torpedoes, no contest there. But look where we find ourselves. We find ourselves next to another island with a lot of battleships sitting over there in a perfect place for us to potentially ruin with high explosive. Now, I normally use a lot of AP in my Balti, even on battleships, but when you got this many battleships clustered together and you can spread the love, HE truly is the better option here, at least initially, to try to get these fires going. Now, we see Georgia's broadside. We're going to go ahead and continue to try to harass these guys, get some fires going on these boys, make sure that they know that they can't just sit there, okay? This is why the black hole strategy, or the sitting in the cap waiting for the enemy to come to you, is a stupid idea. Sure, you can move forward, get into good positions, and wait for the enemy to come to you in certain situations. But if you're just sitting, if your entire team is sitting in the center of the map, and you allow the enemy to move around the flanks and do this to you, you're done. There's nothing you can do. They can't even see me because I'm utilizing the island for cover. This is cruiser play 101, like utilizing the island cover to protect you from being spotted so that you can sit here and murder battleships. This is cruiser play 101. I don't show this very often because it's honestly not that fun to watch necessarily, but watching these guys struggle trying to figure out how they can get away from the HE spam of the Balti is hilarious. Now, we've got 1 permafire burning on Georgia right now. You can see we're trying to stay close enough that we don't get spotted, but we're also trying to make sure we clear all of our guns over the island. And there's the double fire on the Georgia. Unfortunately for him, that's going to be a bad time. Now, I can't sit here forever because we don't have any targets, but we do have multiple people across the way. So we're going to move forward and try to get into a position where we can counter these guys now. And luckily for us, we have another island between us and them. Now, if I fire right here, I'm going to get detected, and that's going to end poorly for me. So I'm going to wait till I get behind the island, then I'm going to start opening fire on these guys, and I'm going to focus the Japanese battleships that have the Yami armor, because it's very good. So we're going to try to soften those guys up. Now, we have a Japanese cruiser heading towards us in the Mogami, and so we got to be careful about that, and this is the moment that the Georgia decides he needs to come out. Now, he spotted us with a plane, and we actually got shot there for the first time. Well, I say for the first time. I think we took a hit from the Charles Martel, too. But here we get shot over the top of the island. But that's not that big a deal because we didn't take much in the way of damage. Now, we've got HE loaded initially for the Mogami. We're going to take that shot, then we're going to immediately load AP in hoping that this guy does something incredibly stupid like go broadside to my Balti. Because, let's be honest, he does that, he's a dead man. Fortunately, he also is not paying attention to the fact that he is charging a freaking Musashi. And while he turns out broadside on in front of the Musashi, I fire AP. He's going to turn away trying to avoid the Musashi as he tries to get his torpedoes away, and that Musashi just damn near death strikes him. Sorry for the language, but let's be real. Musashi then gets the death strike with a close quarters, which is hilarious. But yeah, charging any battleship in a Japanese heavy cruiser is not a good idea. Because your torp angles are trash on those ships. They are meant to kite. They are meant to be at a distance. Now we have a beautiful island location. We're already over 100,000 damage, by the way. I don't know if you guys noticed that. We're over 100,000 damage, and we have another beautiful place where we can sit behind an island, not have any chance of being countered, and we get to burn these battleships to the ground. Izumo is out in the place where I can't shoot. The Massachusetts, I could potentially shoot here, but we're going to try to focus Musashi down here. Try to get some fires going on him. Again, those 460mm guns are massive, and they overmatch everything, so trying to remove priority targets is definitely the idea here. we want to soften him up. We want to make sure that he's uncomfortable. You can see he's already trying to back up because he's getting spammed with HE. He doesn't want to just sit here. So we get one fire on him, and we're going to continue to harass him, try to get some more fires. Because at the end of the day, the more fires, and there's the second fire. And now that we've got him burning twice, he's not putting that out. I don't want to chance the fact that he could potentially get a third, or he gets that fight fire with fire perk if I get a third fire. I am actually trying to get a third fire here. But again, in this situation, when I get to 2 fires, I usually stop shooting them. And the reason for that is because of the fight fire with fire. If you proc that fight fire with fire, that's a free damage con for these guys. So that's just wasting time. So you'll see here, I shoot another shot at him, hoping for a third fire, don't get it, and then I immediately switch over to Massachusetts. Now these guys are about to take some torpedoes on top of the fact that they've already taken plenty of fires. Now, he does manage to take a torpedo and lose a good chunk of his health, and somehow he survives that torpedo that hit him right on the bow when he had no health. He does get a heal away, and you can see how quickly he goes right back up to having a lot of hit points. It's not preferable, but they also have will to rebuild going. So we've got fires burning on the Massachusetts. We've got fires burning on the Musashi. Both of these guys are the last guys alive, and that's when our Vladdy manages to get himself blapped by the Musashi. Again, not a whole lot the Vladdy can do about it. You try to stay bow in, the guy can shoot straight through your bow. But it looks like Musashi's about to go down, so we're going to continue to try to focus the Massachusetts here, see if we can't take him out as well. But because they're so close, they have will to rebuild going, they are able to keep each other afloat a lot longer than they should. And finally, the Musashi manages to take down the Musashi. Massachusetts is in a position where I can't see him anymore, so we're going to move forward. Don't ask me why I radared. Like, I knew they weren't in range. They're the only people alive, and I radared anyway because I'm a doofus. I know. But Massachusetts is backing up. What he doesn't realize is that there is a Musashi that has his broadside. As soon as he gets into a position to get shot, he's done. Right there, he's in the gap. Musashi's about to get a shot straight through the gap, and that's going to be a pop goes the weasel for the Massachusetts. Finishing the game with a whopping 181,000 damage done, which I believe is my best damage game in the Balti ever. We get the Witherer, we get the Arsonist, we get the High Cow, we get top of the leaderboard with 2,878 base XP and 14 fires set. So let me know what you guys think. Is the Balti still the king of the tier 7 cruisers? I think so. And if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.